Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is K Sarah Sarah. You may be confused to see snow in the middle of spring, but actually I went to Korea for the first time in 5 years for 2 months last January. It was filled with happy moments, so I wanted to make videos about it before it gets too old. Literally, I ate everything that I had a craving for the last 5 years. The first restaurant that we went to was recommended by my parents. Even though it was weekday before lunchtime, it was pretty crowded. This was when I witnessed the Korea Lives in the Future moment in person. It was truly a culture shock seeing the cart roll down. And the abundance of food made me realize that I'm indeed in Korea. Korean restaurants do give side dishes, but not as much as this. My husband has seen this once in Busan 5 years ago, but it was still pretty cool. I haven't had a lot of fish in America, so it was pretty nice to have this. All this for less than $20 per person, isn't that amazing? And I missed Korean food so much, I even missed this pot-cooked rice that I really didn't like as a kid, which is surprising to me. I hope to have your understanding that there's no reaction video because I wasn't the only one eating. Next is one of my must-eat menus in Korea, which is marinated crab. This place is in Ganghwa-an and it seemed pretty popular. At $30 per person, I cannot even imagine how much they would charge if I were to have this in America. Korea is amazing. The restaurant itself was pretty huge, but I was even more amazed by the fact that they had a playground for people who brought their children. And they had a big tent set up so that people didn't have to wait in the cold. I mean, I'm Korean, but I was amazed like a foreigner would be. Finally, it was our turn to get seated. We were seated at the terrace because the inside was full. But it was much more quiet and spacious, so it was pretty nice. While we were waiting for our order, I found this crab character in the corner that said, "I hope to see you often here," which is pretty cute. Finally, it's crab time! The last time I had this was in Busan with my husband in 2018. One thing I loved about this place was, even though the crab was enough, they gave us soy sauce shrimp and fried shrimp, which was way more than what I expected. My husband had only tried this chili crab as a side dish before, so he had never seen this kind of things before, so it was pretty shocking to him. This is a moment that only Koreans would understand and get hungry for. It was really hard editing this. They even gave us spicy soup and dough for you to rip off and boil. Even though it was not something expensive, it was pretty nice to have it as I love spicy soup. When I showed this to my husband, he said he might have seen this on Let's Eat. He saw Yoon Do-jun for the first time there and he's still a fan of him. I thought it was just a spicy soup, but it even had crabs in it. There was so much to eat, I couldn't even finish everything. Lastly, this might be just me having lived abroad for too long, but there was a self-service corner for this drink. I've seen side dishes before, but not this. This is not for me, it's for my parents. Please don't get wrong ideas. The self-service corner even has seaweed soup, even though I didn't get to try it because I was too full. Now the next day, we went to a department store called Starfield. I genuinely didn't know there was more than one branch for this brand. My husband loves the character Ryan, and he once saw a post about this store closing, and he asked me to please go if I had the chance. But by then, they were really close to closing, so most of them were sold out. There was not much to buy, so it was pretty disappointing. But it's rare to see a Kakao store like this, so that was pretty new too. And I was also surprised that my husband didn't want everything that had Ryan on it. Actually, on my way to Kakao store, I saw a gigantic Pengsu. My husband had been obsessed with Pengsu since he watched the drama Uyong-woo. So he actually asked about a possibility of a pop-up store and I said there's no way. But by chance it was happening in celebration of Lunar New Year. I guess this proved that my husband has a ton of luck. And I was so surprised. I called him up even though it was very early in the morning in American times. He stayed up and wanted to see it on a video chat. I had a feeling that I was going to buy a lot, so I got a basket and looked around before I called him, like thinking to myself, that blank is probably too big. And there was a lot more people than I expected, all different in age groups. My husband loves collecting stickers, so I got a few from here. And even though there was nothing here because it was the last day, there was a lot of vending machines. And I could tell that they put a lot of effort into this for the love of Pingsu. And I looked up while I was walking to the other side and saw Pingsu on the sign. And it kept changing, so I thought, that's Korean technology. Now then, would you like to look around the other side with me? The items they were selling on this side was Korean in a different way. For example, these masks with Pingsu drawn on it, because back then, Korea still required masks indoors, but America didn't. So when I showed this to my husband, he said it was pretty cute, but there would be no use for it. And just like Kakao Store, they had a lot of stationaries and figures. Mouse, mousepad, and even AirPod cases. There was a ton. My husband had been using his pop socket that he bought from Busan. So I bought him a ton this time that it would last at least 10 years, and I was thinking of buying Pingsu, but it was too expensive to buy the set. I would have bought it if I could just buy one or two. But it was so cute, so I took a video of it. I was trying to contain myself, but if you bought more than $20, you could win a prize, which my husband was like, don't do it for the prize, but do it if you can. And I got stickers as a prize and extra envelopes for my husband. I only looked around the merchandise section because I was alone, but there were a lot of Lunar New Year games that you could play. Well, that was the end of my first and probably the last Pingsu pop-up store. Even though I'm Korean, this was my first time going to a Traders Club, which is Korean Costco basically, which is where I found once famous Shine Cat for the first time, which I thought, how different could it be? And it was pretty different. On a different day, we went to have my other favorite food, which is galbi, and I was surprised how fancy the store was. With excitement, we ordered right away, and the side dishes started coming. This might be too much information, but I hate that onion. Something that's not Korean about me, I guess. I guess everything else is fine, but the light. I'm sorry about that. While my husband was living in Japan, he got to try a ton of different kinds of meats. But he has never tried galbi, even though he tried LA galbi. So I look forward to introducing him to this. Yep, I did take video of them cutting them and flipping them. I cannot believe that I didn't realize that I was taking this in slow motion. But I really wanted to remember this happy moment, so I didn't edit it out. The one phrase that always makes me happy is "it's done, you can eat it now." In order to let us keep eating, they started cooking the next batch right away. And I mean, getting a refill is a different kind of happiness, right? So I took a video of this too. Watching more meat getting cooked while there's already meat made me feel like I became so rich. Now where did all that meat go? I ate it. Before I came in, I thought I could eat way more than one serving. But one serving was way more than enough because they gave us cold noodles. And we even got some tea and snack for dessert. After we were done eating, I noticed the decoration in the background and asked, and it was used to make rice cake patterns. Isn't that a true Korean art? But really, how does a galbi restaurant have a mascot and sell merchandise with it? That's a culture shock. If only America was close enough, I would have even taken side dishes. Last place I would like to show you is a rest stop in Korea. I have never been on a road trip overseas, so I can't compare, but Korean rest stops have developed even more compared to what I was used to in my childhood, as if it wasn't good enough. But I've never seen them selling fried crabs. And this is when I saw drug gimbap for the first time, and I was surprised there was one per serving. Must in all Korean rest stops. Walnut cookies, something that I want my husband to try. And I mean, in the past there were cars selling CDs outside, but here they had a whole floor of cafeteria and shopping center. And they had obviously fake brand patterned goods next to these cute things that kids would nag for. On my way out, after looking around, I saw something far away. There was this huge moose-shaped balloon and a rabbit. It was too cool to miss out on, so I went downstairs to look closely. Well, that marks the end of the video. Thank you for watching.